Nice.
Hello, everyone. We're back here at the Nick Bailey Open. My name is J.W. Krewall. I'm joined here by Steve Guthrie and Otto Baldron.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
It's great to see you back here again.
So we're going to move to our top 8 match. We're going to feature two, great players from here in the Midwest. On one side, on the right, we got Chris DeRocher, and on the left, we have Kevin Baxter. Now, Chris is playing a Malamar deck, a Psychic Malamar deck, and hopefully we'll get to see it set up. Kevin is playing basically the equivalent, but without Malamar. So he's playing like a big basics Psychic deck that utilizes Max Elixir and B-String.
B-String,
to
yeah.
really accelerate his guys.
Fortunately, Kevin has prized 4 Inks every game.
Rip Inky.
This tournament, so let's see if he can make it work with just B-Strings and Elixirs.
It's funny looking at this matchup, thinking of like the deck I played today is like a fusion of these two decks.
Well, you only played 1 B-String.
Yeah, but
Kevin plays 4.
But I played 4 Max Elixirs.
Well, Kevin plays 4 Max Elixirs too.
Hey, Max Elixir's the way to go. It makes a difference.
I mean, so we've seen today, if you can set up Inks, you can get a great start as Malamar player.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the majority of the time, I have not seen it happen. So I'm thinking, honestly, I think Kevin might have the advantage here on pure setup.
Well,
ability.
that's a good point. With Malamar, it's like such a weak play to go for a turn 1 Bridget.
Right.
Because you don't play that many supporters because you're filling up your deck with these Malamars, and these other cards, attackers, and you need your Guzmas and stuff.
Yeah.
The deck gets real clunky, so you need to be able to play draw, generally speaking, and a first turn Bridget, Lele for Bridget, isn't always the best play.
Well, and I think the way that
and here we see Chris going for a Cynthia. He doesn't even go for a Bridget.
I mean, he's
got one Inky down. Yeah, he's definitely going to want to go and get another Inky down this turn. I think that's like all the things you pointed out. Though is one of the things because the way I built mine, having 10 draw supporters and still being able to bridge it on turn 1, knowing okay, I still have all those draw supporters. But we do see another Inky come down on Chris's side. Yeah, absolutely outstanding.
So reading the card.
Yeah, and that's the Baby Dawnwings. Am I not correct?
I think the Dawnwings promo is such a good card in this matchup because it's not weak to Psychic.
Yeah.
It's got 130 HP, so Mewtwo is not going to take it out.
Yeah, Dawnwings, Dark Flash won't take it out either.
Dark Flash will not take it out. Chris,
yeah, and it's gonna do some damage. I mean, if it doesn't one shot, if Chris doesn't one shot the Dawnwings, then
he's in big trouble.
Then it can retreat and
blow something up. Honestly, yeah.
Well, and it's also hitting the Necrozma GX for weakness, which is one of the differences between regular and Ultra Necrozma. That psychic weakness.
But Chris does play the Hoopa, which does do 130 damage.
Yes.
So he can knock that out with the Hoopa.
Yes, he would be able to knock it out with the Baby Hoopa.
It's been interesting since Baby Buzzwoles come out how much the meta is shaped around 1 prize attackers. I think that's just so important.
Absolutely.
1 prize attackers and 1 energy attachment attackers.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we especially see it in these Psychic decks.
Right.
I mean, at first it was Buzzwole that shifted to the little Buzzwole to do Sledgehammer's such a great attack, but now we're seeing it. And these Psychic decks have also kind of progressed to the 1 prize. They used to be very focused on 2 prize attackers, the GXs that do massive damage, and now we're seeing some pokes. We got the Hoopa that pokes around a little bit. Dawnwings kind of pokes a little bit, and then
look at all those.
Well, and then you have the Mewtwo that reduces the damage in the Buzzwole matchup. You have Baby Mew, which can be used as a 1 prize attacker in a lot of those decks. Mimikyu is another one. Just so many different options that they've created and that people have been able to utilize.
So the interesting thing here in the mirror is that
it's not really
in a Malamar matchup it's like you both have access to Moon's Eclipse GX.
Moon's Eclipse GX, yeah.
But it's like a competition of who is going to trigger it first. Do you take the first prize and allow your opponent to Moon's Eclipse? I mean, I feel like you're going to look for an optimal board state in which it's okay to do that. I mean, now we have also people playing Mewtwo GX.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Mewtwo just goes right through it.
Well, but it is important to note, Kevin might not be going for the Moon's Eclipse because his Ultra Necrozma, of course, has that second, the GX attack that snipes 60.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of on Chris, too, to make sure that he doesn't have, an Inkay on the field
in the late game.
Because that can just basically get sniped,
Yeah.
It's up to Chris to make sure that he evolves every Inkay that he plays to, minimize the potential of that play.
Yeah,
definitely. And the other thing you have to remember is, if the Hoopa were to lay snipe damage a couple times on Malamars, then all of a sudden that GX attack could take out the Malamars, too.
Yeah, for sure.
So we see a Field Blower here from Chris.
We do. And the thing about Kevin's deck
Sycamore.
is, you look at his field versus Chris, and I would say, on first glance, if you're just looking at it, looks like Chris has a better setup, right? He's got
I would agree
he's got
with that
more
right now,
potential.
yeah.
It looks like, on the field, he's getting the Malamar set up, and Kevin just has a bunch of big boys sitting there. But at the same time, Kevin's deck goes off as soon as he gets to 3 or 4 prizes.
Right. And
So
Chris got down
Kevin's
2 Leles. I mean,
Right.
that's 4
Yeah.
prizes sitting there.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to point out here real quick is that Chris needs to find an attacker. Because right now his best attacker is Tapu Lele, and
That's pretty bad attacker in
That's
this
not
match.
going to get you there because it doesn't. I don't know if Kevin runs the regular Necrozma GX. I'm guessing he doesn't.
I mean, that's another reason I love the Dawn Wings promo
Okay.
here. Is it like
So you went ahead and
it's
got
a
the
bait,
Mewtwo.
really? Like
Yeah.
Kevin can sit there and attack, and Chris, unless he's guaranteed a knockout, he's
Yeah.
not going to swing on this thing.
Now this Mewtwo's going to come in and do
Like I don't
100
know if
damage
this is a
to
good
it.
idea here.
No,
Because
I
he's
would
just getting a
question
one-shot.
this. Yeah, and because that Gulf Stream, what is that? Does it get stronger with more damage on him, or how does that attack work?
It does 10. If we could pull, we've got 20
Yeah.
plus 20 for each damage counter.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
so
gonna.
much.
So and the
That's
other thing,
insane.
the other thing you have to think about here is he could knock with a Mewtwo, or
440.
if he had a Guzma and like maybe a weight like a Floatstone or something, he could pull one of those Tapu Leles up for 2 prize cards.
If Kevin gets a Guzma, I mean,
well,
he doesn't even need a flow stone.
uh,
He can just
right.
invasion and then Guzma.
That's true. Yeah,
So-
that's so much better. Even it's
Sure,
just
sure,
like I'm just kind of getting used to
Treasure for the.
Well, yeah, Kevin.
for the Ultra Necrozma.
Kevin's going for the more long-term approach, which I think is the best way to do it. He doesn't want to take too many prizes too early because he wants to see a lot of his deck.
Right.
He wants to be able to
Definitely.
get out his psychic energy, and I like the play. I like the Guzma
Yeah.
play, but at this point, it might be a little greedy. I mean, Chris just really isn't doing anything, and Kevin needs to get those energy out. I mean, that's
Well-
how his deck functions.
well,
And
and
then
the other
Mewtwo's
thing,
also just sitting up.
yeah,
there
the
active,
Mewtwo's sitting there, and the other thing I think that you have to think about, like if he were to make a Guzma play there, is that he would have to like he could get N down to 4 cards then, and then
that's
be at a
bad.
really awkward spot without because these decks typically don't run any kind of self draw power. Sometimes you see a Rangaroo, but that's it.
Sure, and I think Kevin does play in a Rangaroo, so
Okay.
so that'll probably come down. I mean, we're just talking about with Kevin's deck. If you're just tuning in, like it's just big psychic, big basics. And then
Elixirs
you
and
have
B-strings.
elixirs,
Max elixirs and
B-strings
B-strings.
are going to power up the Ultra Necrozma
Yeah.
and the Dawn Wings.
Yeah, and
Necrozma.
even the
Some
Dawn
strong one
Wings.
prizes. I mean,
Yeah, basically when Chris goes at either 3 or 4 prizes, Kevin's going to try to set up his entire board for the rest of the game.
So I could see here Chris doubling to the Lele, knocking out the active, and then I could see Kevin responding by promoting a non-Dawn Wings and going for the GX attack if he can get a Max Elixir and attachment.
Yeah, he could even-
for 2 prizes. I could see that happening. I bet he will not promote the Dawn Wings. Instead, probably the Hoopa.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Hoopa.
Okay, so he does go with the Hoopa. He's going to be looking for an energy attachment, and I think a Max Elixir. He'll probably Mysterious Treasure away, something to get, I think, the Prism Star if he has it. Important to note, he plays a Prism Star Lunala, which gets a lot
Yeah.
of
That's
gets a lot of energy
that
back.
seems like a really
Okay,
good
so
card
I
in a
really like
deck
this Hoopa play. I mean, Kevin needs 4 prizes. He can start B-stringing here. So he's going to just bait Chris again into attacking.
Yeah.
Wasting energy on a GX towards a 1 prize. I mean,
Well, and the other thing is that he has the choice band if he wants to hit the Lele, but he can also start spreading damage to those Malamars in a potential threat for a Sky Scorching Light GX late game.
Yeah, and again, we just see this really safe,
Yeah,
very
really,
methodical
really
play by
I mean,
Kevin.
Kevin
methodical,
has a lot of
conservative
cards in his
play.
hand, and he doesn't want to dump any of them. So.
No, and he's going to opt to go for the 2 Leles here, which I think is a nice play too, because then the Dawn Wings the Dark Light attack or Dark Flash can actually come into play here and knock these things out. One of them with 50 on it already, which is already in range
Exactly.
of 120. The other a choice band or another Hoopa attack fixes that.
Yeah, Chris needs to make big plays really quick, and I'm trying to think what would be a good comeback. I struggle to see how he's going to make it out of this. I think maybe a response with a Dawn Wings GX move.
Yeah, he has to wait for his...
force Kevin to not have anything, to have to play around that.
Well,
I
he
wonder
would
if
have
Kevin
he
can
would have
save
to
his
wait for
Guzma.
Kevin to go up ahead in prizes, and that's another really good point. Holding on to a Guzma like that, and so we do see the Hoopa. Because I was actually just wondering, just hypothetically, is there any way that Chris can go from 5 prizes all the way down to 2? Which seems like it would just be so much work. You'd have to come near of knocking Kevin's attackers out, and we did see he has a max potion in his hand.
That's true.
So that's another card that could create a huge problem.
That's
if
true.
we
The
were to
thing
try to
about
make a play like that.
one strategy to beat Kevin is to spread damage on his big attackers, namely the Ultra Necrozma GXs, the dragon types that hit for big damage. To spread a lot of damage on those, and then be able to knock them out one at in succession.
Well, he could even try to go for a play where he hits each one of them, doesn't knock it out, and then goes for a what's the Necrozma's GX attack, the Black Ray GX, to try to finish him off.
Yeah, that's true too.
Instead, we're just going to see Hoopa knock out
What Kevin
Hoopa.
has done here is allow Ultra Necrozma with a choice band to only need 1 psychic energy to knock out one of these labels.
Yeah, which is outstanding. And if you do notice, Chris is at 4 prizes now, so B-String is now a live card.
And
I think Kevin goes for the Dawn Wings on this Hoopa because he doesn't want to waste discarding energy.
I definitely agree with that. No, you definitely don't want to discard,
kinda
even if
bad.
it's only one. Like you're not only wasting one or discarding an energy, but you're also putting yourself in a position where I think you would be, where you would have an active Ultra Necrozma and nothing you could do with it.
Else, sure.
Yeah, nothing else. And then if Chris were to find a Necrozma GX, he could blow it up, and then he's down to 2 prizes, which is bad for multiple reasons. B-String is dead,
right.
and he's also 1 GX knockout away from the game.
So Kevin here plays a Mysterious Treasure, getting rid of a Dawnwings Necrozma or an Ultra Necrozma, for a Lele. I presume he'll attach here, of course, trying to power up that Ultra Necrozma, and then he plays an end.
I mean, this is huge. He needs to hit a B-String.
He
off of
absolutely
these 5 cards.
does, yeah.
He's honestly hit multiple B-Strings.
Yeah, I would say given the state of the game, I mean, like if he doesn't take a knockout, you can make a case that there's not really a way for Chris to take an Oko or to one-shot something on the next turn, because his only real threatening attacker is that Hoopa, which doesn't do enough damage even if it were to have a choice band attached to it.
All right, let's see how many B-String
And a max
Kevin
elixir.
can draw into.
I'm seeing
None.
exactly 0.
Okay, well, these 2 elixirs have to hit.
Yeah,
2 psychics. That's
these
pretty
2
much
max
how this
elixirs
is gonna
have
go.
to hit.
Let's see.
I'm really disappointed. We haven't seen this is not
We're
good.
not even
he
seeing
has a metal.
B-Strings off
He
there.
has
He got
a
a
metal.
metal.
He needed
Yeah,
psychic.
and
That's
the
wrong.
Ultra Necrozma that needs the metal energy is in the active slot.
Yeah, that's
I
the
almost
wrong
wonder if he puts
energy.
this on the
well,
Lele, too.
I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, I think you do put it. It depends on how many he runs, but I think you put it on the top of Lele.
I'm disappointed that we haven't seen a Lunala yet, because that's
Yeah.
one way that Kevin could try to extend his advantage, his B-String advantage.
Definitely.
Because right now he just has all the X's, and
Yep.
there's not really a way that Chris can threaten, but that's
Well,
that would certainly not
Kevin
be the
has
case.
another turn because
if-
Chris is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna
so I was gonna
he's not
say,
going to knock out anything.
I
on
wouldn't.
Kevin's
Yeah,
board.
I wouldn't. I
This is
agree.
safe by
I
Kevin.
agree with that pass there.
He needs B-Strings, and he's going to wait till he can get them.
Absolutely, and especially because he has max potion in his deck. Like if he takes a hit here, he can even heal it off.
Right.
Like that's such a big.
Right,
That's
we
such
know
a big thing
we know
to
he
have.
had it in his hand. He shuffled it back into his deck, so hopefully he can draw it next turn.
Well, and he does have another max elixir in his hand too. It looks like Chris is going to go for the 2020
And this
here
is the
instead.
strategy that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
You want to
definitely.
soften up the big attackers.
Definitely.
And for Kevin, this is really, really bad because he already discarded an Ultra Necrozma with a Mysterious Treasure early.
Yep.
So now you're seeing, okay, now one of the benefits of Ultra Necrozma is it's 100,
on the last card. Okay.
190 HP. You know,
Right.
that is
Yeah.
huge. That is huge.
That's a fantastic number.
Especially if Chris doesn't play any choice band.
Right.
So
Right. So Chris is
Interesting.
so smart here. Chris
Interesting
is so,
to
so
see that he's going for the Ultra Necrozma
he has a
here.
choice band in hand. I actually think he's going to goose him in the
Oh,
melee.
okay. Yeah, I could
I
definitely
think
see
that's
because
what
he
he's
could
doing
take the
here.
one that has 4 damage counters on it, and then he'd still be within a dark flash of
Right.
the one with 5, even though
I'm
it
not
has an
sure
energy.
I agree with this
Yep.
play just because he hasn't been able to B-String yet.
Yeah,
So
and that's the
if,
thing.
If Chris can get a return knockout somehow,
Yeah, if he
did
can,
soften up that
if he
Ultra
can
Necrozma,
find
right,
if he can find a regular Necrozma,
then Kevin will have no B-Strings with
Exactly.
society, which
Yeah.
is rough.
Yeah, and
That's-
it's hard to win if you're Kevin without a B string. Yeah,
And
I mean,
he's giving Chris another bench spot to put something huge
to
down.
put and Chris has a decent amount of cards in his hand to work
I
with,
think
and
if
he's
I'm
got
Chris,
along with 2
yeah,
Malamars.
Yeah, if I'm Chris, I'm thinking about
Necrozma
going to
GX.
Necrozma
Yeah,
GX,
getting a Necrozma
using the
GX
GX
here.
attack, and
Well, I wouldn't even use the GX attack here necessarily. I would just knock this this Ultra Necrozma out and deny Kevin B-String for the remainder of the game.
yeah, right,
he has
right.
2 Malamars that he can use, and then as long as he has 1 energy in hand or a max elixir, which you can clearly.
But the
tell
only
he
way
has
he'll
energy
take
in
out this
hand.
Ultra Necrozma is through the Necrozma's GX attack, though.
No,
He's gonna have to Moon's Eclipse GX this.
Oh no, I was just thinking going for a regular Necrozma GX and just using Prismatic Burst on it.
Oh boy.
I don't know
The
what's
problem is that
going
if you
on.
got
I don't think Chris has it. I think that's what's going on here.
Because I think a return knockout.
Oh boy, this is
Oh
not.
man,
good.
that's not good. No, that's
So
bad.
I just question, what does Chris have in his hand? Because I thought I
It's a
saw
big hand,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
thought I
yeah.
saw at least a
Saw a
supporter.
couple
Maybe he's
energies,
afraid to
saw
drop more
Guzma.
GXs. I mean, I don't know.
Well, and the reason I think that
That's
I
a bad-
would have had he been able to do it to just knock that out instead of Black Raying or instead of using Moon's Eclipse is it doesn't really matter. I don't think if Kevin goes down to one prize as long as you can keep resources in play, because he'd be knocking this out. Kevin's already used at least 2 max elixirs, and he'd be out of Beast Ring for the remainder of the game.
But here's a big play. Okay, so Kevin's gonna max elixir here. If he hits it,
There
okay,
it
he
is.
does
Okay,
hit
yeah.
it.
He's
I mean, if he
got
doesn't
all
hit, it's not a
kinds.
big deal. He has a Juniper in hand.
He's gonna be able to B-string. There's
He's
so
gonna
many B-strings
need.
left
Yeah.
in the deck.
Well,
Yeah.
B-string,
He's
but
gotta
also
find
importantly,
those.
max potion.
Right.
Well, and I do
So
think
he's
it's
gonna be looking for that.
I
I
think
do
he
think
max
it's-
potions the active and slaps the metal on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's got a metal in hand.
Yeah, because I think it was interesting to see too that I would have expected the. Okay, there's the max push. He's got the beast energy too.
Okay, this is good. So I think we're gonna see
Still
a
did
Dawn
not
Wings.
hit a beast ring.
We're gonna see a Dark Flash here. Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna see a dark flash here.
And this is again where I think the Lunala, the Dawn Wings promo is actually pretty good.
Oh, no,
Because
it's absolutely
if
fantastic.
Chris was playing the Dawn Wings promo, it would not be knocked out by this Lunala.
Yeah.
By this Dawn
well,
Wings
he
GX.
would have been able to knock it out, but he would have had to attach the beast energy
Sure, right.
in order to do it, which would severely limit his options as beast energy can function as a
So we
as a
do
metal
see the
energy.
max potion.
Yep, there's the max potion.
I almost wondered if he'd max potion the other alternate crossbow and then sack the other one.
And I think he probably wants to hang on to that choice band just in the event that something else. Like I don't
Because
think
he
the
still
board
didn't
really.
hit beast ring, did he?
No, he didn't. He still has not hit a beast ring.
So what is he gonna do to power up? He's gonna have to Lunala
Yeah,
this
if
whole thing.
if Chris finds, looks like you drew a
Chris is gonna need a rescue stretcher for the Lele.
There's a stretcher. I mean, it's
Yeah,
right
just
there.
He's
say,
gonna
like-
rescue stretcher for the Lele, and he's
And
gonna need
he's gonna have to use-
But it's like you can't end.
No, you have to either Cynthia or Sycamore. And instead, he goes for the Hoopa,
Does
which
Chris
isn't.
not? I mean, did he prize his Dawn Wings? Is that what's going on right now?
Well, because I'm just looking at this and I'm just thinking, like, between his Dawn Wings and his regular Necrozma GX. Well, the problem with regular Necrozma, though, at this point is that even if you lay down all that damage, if you don't have a follow-up Guzma for whatever he gets charged up by Lunala Prism Star, then you're done.
Alright,
So
so
I
he's getting
agree.
them.
You definitely have to Moon's
I don't
Eclipse.
know what Chris is.
I would not have
doing.
put the Hoopa down because now he has no bench space.
Yeah,
for a Dawn
exactly.
Wings
He doesn't have
GX.
any bench space for Moon's Eclipse.
Because he's gonna.
I mean, he's
Lele
gonna
now.
get an N.
Yeah, he's gonna
get
lay
He's
for an
gonna
N.
end
He's gonna
Kevin
drop
back.
Kevin down to 2 cards.
But he's not gonna knock out the Dawn Wings.
Which is a problem because
And
he's
the Dawn Wings
gonna
is gonna knock him out
yeah,
instead.
and it's gonna he's gonna stay at 4 prizes, which is a problem for Kevin if he hits any kind of draw support
Right,
or
so-
just draws beast string
So,
straight
so
up.
yeah. So
B-string.
Kevin wants to B string.
Yeah,
That's what Kevin
he
wants.
absolutely, he
There are 4 B-string in
absolutely
this deck.
needs to hit beast
But
string.
Chris
We haven't
also
even seen it.
Chris also needs an extra turn, so he's gonna go
One
on the
beast-
one
Oh,
prize.
oh my
One
God.
B-string beast energy. I mean,
That's
what
insane.
more do you need here?
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, so
that,
Kevin's
that,
won.
that is an
Kevin
entire
should have game on.
that is an entire
on board.
attack.
Kevin
And,
should have game on
yeah,
board. Chris retreats.
I absolutely agree.
But it's really a futile effort. He's going to attack into the Dawn Wings, but Kevin's just going to activate his B-string, just make sure that he has win on board.
Yeah.
He probably won't attach the energy, but
we see what he drew. Okay, there's a beast ring.
I mean, Chris could. I mean, Kevin could GX with the alternate Necrozma.
Take out the
60 on
For the
put
B-
si- well,
for the
well,
BM.
that would also that would take out the Inky that's on the board too.
Right.
So that would leave him at 1 prize.
see, I think Kevin probably GXs first here to limit Chris's options.
Well, because then he can just use the big attack.
Well,
off
Kevin
of
can't
Ultra
GX because
Necrozma
he needs to
to
be
take
behind
anything.
in prize.
Oh,
yeah,
he doesn't.
yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
The only
He
GX
he
can
can't
use
Moon's
alternate
Eclipse. So
prize.
we're just
Right,
going to see a
right.
dark
But
flash
he's
here.
gonna dark flash. I mean, I don't.
He
see
has a
what-
well, and that's the thing too is he has a giant Ultra Necrozma on
Chris
the bench.
needs to set up and take out the Ultra Necrozma.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing
the
in
Ultra
his deck that can do
Necrozma.
it.
No, the Ultra Necrozma has to die this turn.
He
if
needs
it
to get
doesn't,
Necrozma
then
GX. And okay,
Yeah,
so
and there's a
we're going to
concession,
game
okay.
2.
So we didn't see one of the biggest parts of Kevin's deck, which is the Lunala Prism Star. I mean, in testing with him, the Lunala Prism Star kind of came into play pretty much every game. Like he would
Because you would
go
take 4
in early-
prizes and then
right,
bring it back.
Right, he would
Yep.
take 4 prizes. Exactly.
Yeah, and
so
you just bring all
we
your
didn't
energy
see
back.
that because Kevin had such a dominating board position.
position,
And
yeah.
especially drawing that B string at the end there, just really solidified the game and made sure that he could.
I agree with that
he
100%.
could
This
win.
deck reminds me a lot of like Solgaleo
Or what about your Duskmane Garbodor or something? Yeah.
I mean, you go in, you blow something up,
Yep.
and then you find a way to get your Prism Star in the active, and then you
You,
put energies back
you
on.
recharge. Yep.
And you set up a board state where your opponent they have to choose between things where they're gonna get knocked out anyway.
Yeah, basically you set a chess matchup where you have 2 attackers, you can take one, but you're still going to get blown up the next
And that's
turn.
the big difference between the 2 decks, right? Because Malamar, you need to keep replacing attackers,
Right.
replacing attackers from the hand.
Yeah.
Because all your bench spots are filled. Because
Right.
you need to have 2 or 3 Malamar, and
we
then
saw
you'll
the
have a
exact
Lele.
problem. We saw
Yeah.
the problem for Chris is he did not have
No, he didn't. He
Dawn
had
Wings GX in his hand.
he
Right?
had-
so he can't replace it. There's
no.
nothing to do.
He had 2 Leles on his board with the 2 Malamars, and then that Inky taking up the 5th spot. So there was only 1 slot that he could use, and it was just repeatedly the Hoopa over and over
Like,
again.
I even imagine Kevin is not even that much phased by Parallel City compared to like how
No.
Chris would be.
No, and that's the thing about a lot of these Malamar lists that are running like a 4-4 or a 4-3 that are relying so heavily on a full bench of 5, is that Parallel City just absolutely cripples them.
Well, Chris is hoping to
if
see a
it's well timed.
fast start here in
Yeah,
game 2, and
clearly.
he is really off to it.
Does he dump the Mewtwo GX?
Yeah, did he? Was that what he dropped?
Yeah, he did.
He, with a rescue
Such an important
stretcher.
card
Yeah,
for
I don't know.
matchup, too.
It's hard to agree with that because, of course, Mewtwo GX has that GX move that does 200 damage, pretty much knocks out anything
cuts-
on Kevin's board.
yeah, it
He's
cuts
scared
through
because it's
the,
weak to Psychic.
exactly,
and he
because
doesn't
it's
want
weak to
to open a Dawn
Psychic.
Wings Guzma.
He does
Yeah.
play another rescue stretcher,
Yeah, he
so
does
we
have a-
may see it come back into play. But again, I mean, Chris is going to fill up his bench with all these, non-attackers.
Well, and you have to, if you're Chris, I don't know what's in his hand, but you have to hope that you don't need to put a Lele down right now.
That's true.
I mean,
that's very true.
he's got 3 Inkies and a Hoopa down. Like, you do not want to have to burn another slot. And we do see Kevin discard a B-string. Last game he couldn't
He's
find
got 2
one until the
B-string in
end.
that hand and 2 Elixir.
Oh my lord.
I think he wants to Cynthia this away.
Yeah, I think this is a hand you definitely want to send back to the deck.
Okay,
We
he
do see he's
says,
gonna go
he
for the
says,
Dawn
Wings,
Wings
I'll set it
here.
up. I mean, that's
Okay.
the crazy thing about this deck is that he could go second and actually
Pull off an
he's got
attack
2
right
Elixirs in
away.
hand. If he's got
Yeah.
another Psychic, there he goes. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gonna knock out an Inkay this turn.
Yeah,
which is insane.
And luckily for Chris, he has 3 on board instead of just the usual 2. I think knowing, okay, there could be max elixirs coming, I probably need to set a 3rd one up because I don't want to be stuck with only 1 Malamar.
We'll see what Kevin goes for here, but it looks like he might be trying to max elixir to the bench.
Yeah.
And this
And
is
attack.
this is
Yeah.
actually really interesting because for as methodically as Kevin played last game, this seems like really
Really greedy.
Yeah,
really,
this is a very
really greedy.
aggressive play,
I mean,
and
it
okay,
counts
and I
on
think he's going to
hitting
change his
elixirs.
plans
Yeah.
right now because he just missed that elixir.
Right.
And I don't think Kevin has a draw supporter in his hand. I'm looking at his hand, and I don't think I saw one.
Ooh, that's not
So
good.
this is not, again, this is like complete change in play from
Trying to
how.
see
Oh,
what
he
he's
does
gonna-
have a sycamore.
Okay.
Oh, he has a
Okay.
6 more.
Okay.
Okay, so this,
All right.
this
Well,
is
that's a
actually
little bit
pretty
better.
good then.
Oh my good. Oh.
Man.
Do you guys know how many psychics Kevin
Right,
plays? I
Kevin-
believe it's 9, right?
Kevin plays 9
Is it-
Psychics, 3 Metals, 1 Beast.
Okay, yeah, Beast Energy. So he plays, he
It's a fair
plays
amount.
12 basic energy.
I
It's-
mean, I've seen
I mean,
Buzzwole hit these.
Yeah,
without
I mean,
energy.
That's
seeing this scenario with not only that, but there are no energy in his hand, so they
and
were
now he's down 2
all,
Elixirs and 2 Beast.
Yeah, and
really
that's a lot of acceleration
Oh my
that
goodness!
he
If
just
he
lost
hits the
out
3rd
on.
Elixir, if he hit the first 2, honestly.
Oh yeah, he would have
he
had
could
the
have attacked
attack.
this turn.
Yeah,
That's such a bummer.
That would have been a sick attack. That
Yeah,
would have
it
been like
would've been
really
incredible.
BM, and Chris
Absolutely
would have been incredibly on the back.
Serpandage Kevin is not playing field, or he is not playing Ultra Space. I think he has 1 or 2 field lower in the deck though.
yeah. I don't. A lot of these. I mean, like, I think like a lot of the Ultra Necrozma decks not running. Not running very many stadium cards at all, because I mean, like some players will try to put Parallel City, but most of the ones I've seen, they haven't ran any stadiums.
Did anyone catch anything with Kevin's hand? It looks like there might have been an issue with the deck. The cards flipped out.
Concerned that he dropped a card off.
Seemed like it. Yeah.
he's gonna tap.
But I think we're okay.
Sounds like it's
Okay.
gonna be a pass from Kevin here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's got 2 energies.
An
I mean,
important thing is if Kevin can Guzma that Hoopa next turn.
Yeah.
I mean, 1
Definitely.
attachment and Guzma the Hoopa. That could be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this scenario and I know it's a 2 prizer versus Chris's preferred 1 prizers, but I think at some point when these attackers just start coming down on you like that, at some point you do need to make an aggressive play. I don't know. I'm not saying that now is the right time, because I think something that Kevin's done here that I think is pretty brilliant as well is he's loaded his board with only 2 prize attackers. So if Chris takes a knockout of any of them, that B string is all of a sudden live.
I mean, it looks like it's going to be so hard for Chris to take knockouts here. He's attacking with Pokemon that don't do 180 damage.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't do enough damage.
He doesn't have any cards in his deck besides the Mewtwo that he threw away that do over 180 damage.
Now,
Yeah, the only thing is the Necrozma GX.
Now he's going to need to find a way to get the Inkay out of the active, because I think even poking here is a decent play. You
Oh,
don't
absolutely.
necessarily
Oh,
need to go
absolutely
for
agree with that.
130.
But Kevin plays max.
Well,
potion.
the other thing
That's
you have
true.
to look at is that with the Hoopa, if he were to be able to poke 20 damage on each of the Dawnwings, then he could attach a choice band to the Hoopa and do 160 to finish off
You're
one of
totally
those.
right.
But Chris
Dawnwings.
does not play any choice band.
Oh, he doesn't?
Only plays
Oh.
Floatstones. This is where Kevin needs his.
That changes.
You know, this is all that's
Yeah.
left on Chris's board
Yeah,
state.
yeah,
Just a
he
big
has
Hoopa.
absolutely nothing else. And any of those attacks, the Hoopa, the Mewtwo, like they're worth only one prize, but they are all weak to Psychic, so you are not going to have any difficulty.
Well, we'll see.
knocking them
I
out.
actually think Kevin's gonna take the
sit.
active knockout on the Inkay and probably just dig it through his deck a little bit more. I mean, that's kind of. I
Try
don't
to get
think
himself
he's
set
gonna.
up for later.
I don't think he's gonna care that a Hoopa comes up with 3 energy because.
Right.
He's putting Psychic in the discard.
Well,
too.
he can
Yeah,
also
exactly.
just
And-
he can also just drop a max potion if it hits him.
I mean, the Hoopa's only doing 130, so.
Yeah, it's not
I
threatening.
think we're gonna see a Sycamore or Cynthia here from Kevin. He's just gonna try
Yeah.
to get through his deck. I think he's gonna.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Sycamore
there's
comes down
Sycamore.
from the Lele.
Yep.
Just
J
just
Dog,
like we
Kevin
said.
is not playing any Malamar, no.
So
Just big Ultra Beasts.
Yeah, it is a big
Ultra Beasts, Beast Rings, and Elixirs.
shadowy Necrozma deck.
okay, so we see an attachment of a choice band to his already powered up Dawnwings Necrozma, another choice band, and a Sycamore. So he's gonna be looking for an
my.
energy, and he's gonna be taking psychic
Yep.
energy, I should say.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
boy.
he
Hit a max
found
elixir?
2 medals. Did he hit a max elixir? here?
I think that's his 4th Elixir, yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
4 max elixirs. I mean, given the way his luck went early on.
So he
Attachment?
attaches.
Okay, so we do see an
See the
attachment.
little,
Yeah.
the little unsure fingers.
Yeah,
of Kevin.
he's trying to think
Patented
here.
Kevin finger tap.
Yeah.
Does he pass? Did he pass here? No.
It looks like he
passes.
did, yeah.
Okay, so we were mistaken. He must not have hit that max elixir. He must not have drawn into that max elixir
Yeah.
off the
I mean,
Sycamore because
listen, Chris is
he
not
would've played it.
powering anything up here, so
No.
it is fine to just pass.
Yeah, he can play the waiting game right here.
He's gonna wait for Chris to put down a GX that can do some damage.
Yeah, and
I would love to see a GX, the 100 GX attack. The
yeah,
crossbow.
the Black
Right,
Rage.
right,
Well,
the Black
Rage,
and
yeah.
if he can get damage to stick using Hoopa's bigger attack on 2 things, then he can Black Ray to take 4 prizes
Sure.
and deny the beast ring.
Sure,
Or he
sure,
could just
sure.
go
Then you
for
can
3,
one-prize or
or he
everything
could,
on his
yeah,
board.
or he
Sure.
could just go for 3 hits and just try to win in 1 attack. The problem here is again that max potion that we know Kevin drew
Yeah,
off
right.
that
Max
Sycamore.
Potion is very
Well,
good.
I also question Chris's attachment via Malamar of the other energy because now he has, I believe,
Nothing.
no more
No,
energies
no,
in
no.
his
Yeah,
discard.
and he could have left one.
He could have
left
left one
it at 2
and just made it
energies
a
and
little
just
bit
attached
easier,
from hand
but
or
now
something.
he's making it harder on himself. So he's gonna get a Malamar. It looks like here. I think he has a supporter in his hand, but
Again, I'm saying it.
Like,
Chris needs
it's-
something to do some damage.
Yeah,
if he doesn't
he needs
attack
to
this
lay
turn,
something
like
down.
I don't know
I don't
what
know.
he
Like
can
like
do.
Kevin is giving him opportunity.
Yeah.
Kevin and he. Okay, so Chris puts down a Lele. Again,
Well-
this is another bench spot that could be an attacker, but
I wonder if Chris is going for a Guzma here.
Well, and the other thing that
I think he
yeah,
wants
okay.
he wants Kevin to knock this Hoopa out. He needs 3 Psychic in the discard. Like he's
Yeah.
got 3
the
Malamars out.
Mewtwo. Yes,
There we
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
there
what
it
we
is.
wanted.
That's what
okay.
we were looking for.
I wonder
So-
if Kevin is going to take. Oh wow.
Oh,
wow.
and then
Boy.
and he can drag up that Dawn Wings.
Yes.
Yep, and there it goes.
Wow.
Now,
Are you
just-
surprised that he's going for the Dawnwings?
Not in the slightest. No, I think that's absolutely the correct
Really?
play because that Dawn Wings would have come up and dark flashed him for 240 or well, however much, 300, I think.
Maybe.
It would have
Moon's
been a.
Eclipse.
Yeah,
Sure,
and,
sure,
and I
sure.
think in this scenario he's gonna he's asking the
Oh,
questions
Kevin is
now.
shaking.
And Kevin,
now. Look at that.
Kevin
look at that.
needs
Kevin
to.
did not see that play coming.
No.
And to be
Kevin
honest,
needs to
neither did
find
we.
some
So-
energy acceleration.
We did not know there were 3 Psychic energy.
No, I had no idea there was. I didn't think there was any.
Well,
Real.
Chris discarded a few with his mysterious treasure. I
Yeah.
mean, he discarded
A
one.
lot of people like
and-
clip them together when they put them in
Yeah.
discard, so it's hard to see. All right, you're Kevin. Where do you be swing right now?
I think I'm beast ringing to the Dawnwings, and then I'm Moon's Eclipsing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that does enough unless you have the beast energy because that
Well,
Mewtwo
it's
has
weak to-
190,
it's-
doesn't it?
Mewtwo's weak to Psychic though. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm Moon's Eclipsing.
I was-
and
I was
that
having a
puts,
silly
again,
moment
that
there.
puts Chris.
I
Chris
definitely
on the back
agree.
foot.
Thing
Yeah,
is,
it
Kevin needs
forces
to
him
get
to
a
have a
Psychic
Guzma.
attachment and a beast ring, whereas with Ultra Necrozma, he just needs
He
one
just
beast
needs
ring.
one beast ring. Yeah.
We know Kevin lost 2 beast ring already.
Yeah, so he's got 2 rings left, and he's got only 1 max
This
elixir
will be
left in his
close.
deck. He
I
does not have a
honestly
lot of
do
acceleration.
not have confidence that Kevin will draw the 2 beast ring off of the
Well,
6
the other
star
thing you
man.
could
I
do
don't know,
here,
dude.
he has the floating Dawnwing, so if he were to find the Lunala Prism Star here, he could also force a single prize attack while accelerating energy from his discard pile, and then try to remain B-string live with Chris at 3 prize
Again,
cards.
I like that play too that you just mentioned, and we'll see what he
4,
gets.
5, 6.
There are no
Ooh,
B-string.
That
No
did
B-strings.
not look good. There were I didn't see a trainer card at all. Like
the
that
good
was
thing is
energy
this
in
Mewtwo
Pokemon.
is like pretty trash now.
There are no B-strings.
Yeah, I mean the
well,
Mewtwo
sure.
can't do a whole lot right now. It can do. I mean, its best bet is to use full burst. It's hitting 90 damage right now.
Yeah, and then you
Now,
just retreat
JW,
and start poking.
JW, interesting thing here. I almost wonder if you just you discard one Psychic off of Alternate Necrozma, hit the Mewtwo, and you can just GX it. You can use a GX attack late game. And
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because
that
it would be a
interesting.
130
now,
plus the 69.
Now, something that could mess that up would be the second attack on the Mewtwo, which does 60, but also heals 30 damage
Right.
off of the Mewtwo.
You might see that, yeah,
and that
yeah.
number would actually be relevant then.
Yeah, I hope Chris retreats this Mewtwo. I don't see him attacking with it because it is such a big liability. At the same time,
Oh my
he
goodness. Okay, he is going to
wants
retreat
to
with it.
get
Okay.
rid of it.
Why did he put an extra Psychic out there?
Probably just to make full burst a more threatening attack.
Oh, right,
Boosting it
right.
up to 120 damage, and he
Yeah.
can because if this
can
Hoopa
put
gets
this
knocked
Lele,
out, he's
yeah.
got 3 Malamars. That would put it up to 210
Right.
damage.
He's okay actually trading this Mewtwo for a Lele.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin.
I
needs
don't
to
understand
understand
the float stone on the Mewtwo. This is
He didn't-
I think,
he didn't
I
wanna
think this is-
discard.
but if he
But he
discards
could
the
discard it, he could
energy,
just Malamar
he can
right
Malamar
back. No.
And now what's
Yeah.
interesting on Chris's side is that if Kevin has a way to knock out this Hoopa with a fresh attacker, Chris
Yeah.
had a play.
Chris, yeah,
Chris
but,
had
but
a
now
play to put a
bring a
float
Malamar
stone.
up and then float it. Yeah.
Oh boy,
But-
here comes the Lunala. I think Kevin is not confident he's gonna hit this B-string.
I mean, it is possible since he's gone through his deck a few times by now that maybe one or even both of them are in the prizes. And if that were the case, then he would know, okay, I don't have any energy acceleration that I can
Second
rely on
Lele
here.
board.
Okay,
I'm
we see
curious
another
what he's
Sycamore.
Sycamoring. What is he dumping though?
I'm not quite sure what was in his hand. But again, here's Kevin just going through his deck.
I wonder if he's got the max potion that he's going to lay down here.
Okay, he definitely he attaches there.
Nope. Okay.
I mean,
So-
if he hits a B string, he can go in with the.
Yeah, wait,
that's
okay,
one B-string.
yeah, he did hit a
Nice.
B-string.
So he doesn't have to Lunala Prism this turn.
No,
he
he
can
doesn't.
go in with Dawn Wings.
Well, and the other thing, just looking at here, he can Moon's Eclipse. Do you whether or not you want to use that on a single prizer as opposed to eclipsing the Mewtwo? But what he can also do if he Moon's Eclipses here is force. If he has a Guzma for next turn, he can take that Mewtwo out and prevent the Dawn Wings from
My
at least
worry
getting
here
knocked
is
out.
if Kevin did not hit this max potion, this Lele is a huge liability.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
Other than this Lele, Chris has no other. He's used his GX attack. He has
Yeah.
no way of doing 180 damage anymore.
Well, the
the-
Mewtwo.
It is an
Mewtwo
an
can do
absolute
120 right now.
No, if he
Sure, but,
if the
of
Hoopa
course he
dies,
has-
three Malamars will put it up to 210.
That's true.
But the
if we
biggest
knock out
thing, something like that I think is worth
it
keeping
does.
an eye on is that Lele has 130, so it has 40 hit points remaining. That
I
Hoopa,
don't understand this.
if he were to retrieve the Hoopa, or he could just use Black Ray GX to take that out.
So, JW, are you saying you would not have GX attack there?
No, I think Kevin made the right play by GX
Absolutely.
attacking. Or
Absolutely.
certainly an admirable play by GX attacking. It's fine. I don't understand why Chris promotes the Mewtwo.
the Mewtwo. I mean, it
He
has
has a float
it
stone
has
in
the
it anyways,
float stone,
right?
but I mean, I guess he figures he's not going to be attacking with it this turn anyway, since he can't knock out the Dawn Wings.
And I worry Chris is kind of realizing his mistake now. I think because you don't attach the float stone,
No.
You attach to something else and manual retreat, and then this was last turn, of course. You manually retreat,
Yep.
and then
recharge with the Malamars.
recharge because that's what Malamar
Yeah.
does. That's,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
what's
he
good
had
about
no
it.
other place to put, and we see a Bridget. So
I think he's
not
looking
sure.
for Necrozma GX.
Looking for a Necrozma GX.
Yeah.
He could knock out the damaged Tapu Lele as well as put a pretty heavy amount of damage on everything
talking
else
about
on
Black Ray.
Kevin's board.
Well, he
He
can't
has
Black Ray. He's already
already
GX.
used his
So,
Oh, he's already GX. Never
so the
mind.
Necrozma is just it's a failsafe. It's for next
Yeah,
turn.
yeah. I don't think he's got. If he doesn't have a Guzma, there's nothing he can really do this turn.
He could get a non-EX, promote that, and just
Yeah,
let it take it
that's
out.
what I think he's gonna do. Yeah.
Well, he might even be able to pull a random card out of
he needs to
out
one
of Kevin's
attachment.
hand, but he would have to attach a whole bunch of energy to that Giratina to do so.
I think he'll go for it.
I mean,
If
I don't.
he has
At
a
this
psychic
point,
in
I don't
hand,
see
he
why
might as
not.
well.
Yeah, you might as well here, because I mean, either the thing gets knocked out, and then it's like okay,
But the Giratina isn't Dawnwing say all damage?
done to the Dawn Wings.
Right.
It'll still affect Kevin's hand.
Okay.
The card will be pulled out of his hand.
Okay, so this could be big. We'll see what happens. I mean, if Kevin only has one supporter
One
in hand,
supporter, yeah.
and he gets a psychic.
Okay.
Not very good.
Yeah, it's not really what you want, especially with that Lunala Prism
Does
Star
Kevin
just
have a Guzma?
waiting
I mean,
on
he
the
just needs
bench.
to
Oh
go
yeah,
in
if Kevin
on
has a
this
Guzma, this is as good as done.
Go in on this Mewtwo, man.
Yeah, and that is, Mewtwo seems to be a pretty formidable attacker. We'll see what Chris can do if it gets knocked out.
Discarding the Psychic's actually pretty good because I think Kevin wants to slowly attach Psychics to the Ultra Cosmo.
Yeah, and he can also, just putting more in the discard pile just adds more fuel for the Lunala Prism Star to take advantage of.
Also, we are almost at 100 viewers.
That is awesome.
Hey,
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Tell your friends.
Absolutely.
So, Chris attacking here with a non-EX. If Kevin knocks the non-EX Giratina out, he'll go down to 4 prizes. I mean, we kind of assume, this is scary for Chris here too to put up this Giratina as a little bit of a risky play, especially with Kevin having so many cards in hand. I think Chris was kind of looking for, discarding like a B string or looking to discard a supporter, but instead he discarded just a Psychic Energy, which really doesn't matter too much.
I really want Kevin to dig for a max push.
Or can you imagine if he had pulled a Guzma from his hand?
Sure, exactly. Any resource
how
that
huge
can't be
that would've
recycled.
been. Yeah,
exactly.
And we're seeing, and I think
Kevin's
Kevin
looking
may
like
be
he's
playing
about
a
to-
Cynthia here. He's trying to get some of these cards out of his
I think Kevin
hand.
wants a max potion. That Lele is so
that is an
such
absolute
a liability.
Dude, that Lele is looking like a snack to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fresh, ripe for
Ripe for the taking.
ripe for the taking.
Yeah, and he's just it has a Guzma, it has a giant target for Guzma written right on there.
I agree with you that going for the
There it is.
Giratina is the best way to do this because it's gonna be 4 prizes.
Right.
The Mewtwo's a free prize.
Well, and what's Chris going to attack with after this? Like, he has to keep sending up GXs because those are the only things powerful enough to match Kevin's high HP GXs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he's going to lose this Giratina.
It's a snack, bro.
Fine. Yeah, it's a snack.
Yeah, exactly.
And again.
Oh, you got the max potion.
before we get onto the main course.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we see a mysterious treasure from Kevin here. He's going to get another Ultra Necrozma. He might bench it. He doesn't really need to. I think he will.
I think he's just trying to.
I think he's just trying to thin the deck
deck.
largely, so that
For sure.
so that an N doesn't affect him.
For sure. So we'll probably see an attack here by the Necrozma. On Chris's side, you really want him to just attach everything to the Mewtwo and then a knockout and then N.
And Chris,
Right.
we
But
actually did just see he has
For the
another.
next turn,
he does
what's he
have
gonna
another.
do?
He does have. Well, Chris has another Floatstone in his hand.
Okay, but I mean, after this Mewtwo goes down.
Yeah.
What is he?
I don't.
Well, the
I have
Mewtwo,
no idea where
I
he
doubt
goes.
that the Mewtwo will go down next turn. Okay, so I think what Chris is going to do is attack with the Mewtwo into. Oh, okay. This might change things. Kevin might
going into
retreat
the
into
Lunala.
Lunala.
Yep, we're
Okay,
going
I
to
was going to
Lunala
say
here.
Lunala is going to come out. I was thinking it was going to happen a turn later. It's happening now, and I think this is great by Kevin because Chris went for this greedy play
He's
on the
gonna
Giratina.
put these psychics on the Lunala. I think.
Oh my goodness.
I think that would be huge.
That would be an outstanding play.
I
'Cause
mean,
that
the Lunala is an insane 1 prize attack.
well, and it's
with a lot
what
of
160 damage is the attack. Oh, it looks like he's going. At least one of
He
them is
didn't
going
put
to
that
go
other
on
Ultra
to
Necrozma
the.
down.
Well, and the Ultra
he just
Necrozma.
put it on the Lele, okay.
As I said, like the Ultra Necrozma is hitting for 210, so that's enough.
So putting them on the Lele will really be able to, he may be able to punish the Mewtwo.
Punish the Mewtwo for putting too much energy on it.
And I think he's also, by doing this, he's also punishing Chris for playing the Giratina.
Right.
Chris was thinking the Giratina was going to get knocked out, but obviously it didn't. Like, obviously it's still stuck there, and it's just very underwhelming.
Oh yeah.
Well, and if he had retreated it, I think it only pulls two of the 4 energy off of it, so it's still.
What does he get?
See what he gets.
Hey,
Ooh,
okay.
Could be.
that could be relevant.
It was the only supporter in Kevin's hand.
Wow, that's
So
pretty
I honestly don't
clutch
know what
hit.
the Lunala does for Kevin. Like he stalled a turn, right?
What do you mean, what the Luna?
But
He
how
attached
much-
so many energy.
But how much? I mean, and one other thing he can look at is that he can use the Tapu Lele to go in on that Mewtwo.
And then if the Mewtwo takes out the Lele, then the Necrozma's coming in.
Yeah, and if the Mewtwo takes out the Necrozma, the Lele's coming
Right. So
in.
Kevin's trying to make an unbeatable board state.
Yeah,
he has
he's
a
basically-
KO with everything.
Yeah, he's setting up checkmate on board so that it doesn't matter what Chris does, basically saying, I dare you.
Halsel24 asks, is there a Necrozma GX in Chris's list? I have to think so, but we have
I
not
would think
seen
it, but yeah, we haven't seen it. See, I did have the pleasure of playing against Chris round 1, and I do.
There it is.
There it
There
is.
it
Yeah, I
is.
was gonna say I could have sworn I saw one.
I mean, this is Chris's out here.
Yeah,
Blow something up.
this is really. He needs the
Because he's still technically ahead of the
Yeah,
prize
yeah,
rate,
because
so.
he can go down to 2 prizes before Kevin can, and the other thing
Okay.
The
I
other
like
thing you
this.
have to be really careful
Kevin's
of.
gonna have to end him too.
Did Kevin end up? He did use his GX attack, did he not?
Yeah, he did, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
He-
There are a lot of GX
Both players
attacks
have
here.
used their GX attack, so there's no concern of a Moon's Eclipse here.
Yeah, right. You're totally right, Steve. And so we see Chris use all the cards in his hand. He had 2 Max Elixir. He did it. He did
There
his
it
2
is.
Max
There's
Elixir.
all the energy.
He's gonna go.
He's going to get 2 of them on that Necrozma and another one on the Mewtwo
Oh my
here, and he's going to
goodness.
have a huge board.
Okay, so what does Kevin do here? What, like, you're Kevin. What's the clue?
You're
What's the
Kevin,
play
what
here?
do you do?
I think you got to
You
end
have-
it. You got to end it.
I think you lose.
I agree with JW. I think you lose.
Well,
The only thing, if you had a way, see, this is where if he had, like you said, charged up the Lunala Prism Star, that would have left an attacker that could have one-shotted the Mewtwo.
Would have been so good for
Because it would have been a one-prize attacker,
right.
and he
And then
could
you
have put
end.
himself in a position, yeah, and then he
Yep.
can end, yeah.
he does have the end. This is very important. He top decked the end, I think, this turn. So
Well, and that may be the only thing that can save him here because if he can keep Chris from finding a float stone, there is no Dawn Wings on Chris's board.
well, I don't know that Kevin plays any field blower.
Well, I'm just saying
he's
that
trap the Necrozma in the
yeah,
act.
he said just
I
to
see.
trap
And
the
then
Necrozma in the
Lunala
active
Prism to
for
yourself.
just a turn, yeah,
Lunala
yeah,
Prism
and
to yourself.
the Lunala Prism to itself.
That's the only way I see this working right now.
Because otherwise he's in, and I mean, if Chris finds a Guzma, the game is obviously
That
over.
is a really smart play, and I hope Kevin sees this line of play.
I wish Kevin had Lunala Prismed and end. Because
Yeah,
he could go
yep.
into this Necrozma,
Yep.
knock it out for weakness, and then I mean,
Yeah, and put
pray
himself
that
in
Chris doesn't
a,
draw
in
the
a
Guzma,
strong
that's about
position.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, if Chris draws the Guzma, the game is over.
I mean, Chris technically.
Well, Chris has
What
a
is it-
few
what is-
opportunities.
What
to
does he
do.
need to get to this knockout? How many energies do you have on this? On
He's
board
got
right now?
5.
What is
so
it, 5 times? Is
it's
it 30?
it's 30. Yeah. So he needs 1 more for the Dawn Wings or the Lele, and 2 more for the Ultra Necrozma,
crazy how that
which is
stacks up.
already in the discard pile
Right.
for the Malamar to feed off
So
of.
he's
So he
looking
needs a
for
way
a
to
Guzma.
move. Yeah, he needs a way or a Floatstone. He needs a way to move the Necrozma out of the active
But
slot.
even if Kevin is able to Lunala Prism this turn, I wonder, like,
do you
he's only buying
just
himself a
knock
turn.
it out? Like, I mean, what if he just knocks
if
out
Chris
the Lunala?
knocks out the Lunala Prism, then I don't know.
Because I mean, it's like it's sitting there with 50 hit
Yep.
points.
Okay, so Kevin knows what he's doing. He's getting in there.
Yeah, and he did play the N, so we'll
Let's
see.
see
if,
what Chris drew.
Now he does have, it looks like a Sycamore in his hand, so he
Right.
could dig for a.
If he gets a float stone and knocks
gets a
the
float
Lunala
stone.
Prism out, I don't think there's any way Kevin wins.
No.
He should attach to the
And
active.
Now, do we?
He's going to
Ooh.
attach to the Mewtwo. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Now, do we know how many floatstones he plays?
I mean,
Is it
easily
3 or
4.
4?
but
I would
don't
assume
know how many
4.
He's been through. I assume he's been through at least 3.
And something else
He
that
did not put it down immediately.
something
He did not have the float.
something else that he could have done had he hit it actually as a 1 prize, he could have actually, assuming there's 3 energy in there, which we know there is, he could have charged up one of his Malamars and used that to take the attack here.
Ooh, that's true. That's true. Although that would make him weaker to like an N, you know, because then he couldn't power up
but
the
you have to
Necrozma with
but-
on board.
Well,
you know?
well,
That's
and,
one of
and
the
that's
benefits of
fair,
having
which is
3
probably the
Malamar.
reason why I think you would actually attack with the Tapu Lele in that scenario.
Honestly, though, I mean, Kevin's got to end again. Like,
Yeah, he
the chances
absolutely
that Chris
does.
has Guzma in his hand
He absolutely
are super
does.
high now.
Well,
Yeah,
guys,
because he's Sycamore.
What can Kevin do?
He needs to attach
He
a psychic.
needs to, yeah, he needs to
I
attach an
don't
energy.
think Chris is going to get this out of the active. Kevin needs to attach a psychic, knock out the Necrozma, and end.
And he needs to end, yeah, and you can see Chris thinning his deck now.
I'd be
Searching out
curious.
that
I'd be
Mewtwo and
curious to
dumping
know
it
if
right away.
Chris has a Lele, because if he does, then playing all these mysterious treasure might be bad for him.
Because he wouldn't be able to pull Lele out after
I
another
don't
end.
think he.
It
has-
looks like
Actually, maybe
has
he does.
has he? I mean, has he played a second one, or maybe it's in the
I
prizes?
believe his
I don't
Lele
know.
is in his hand. I see
Ooh.
kind of a shiny
Oh,
card. It might be
okay.
in his hand.
Yeah,
I
I don't
maybe
know
would
why
have
he'd be
hesitated
dumping
to.
all these.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Oh, my
dumping all
goodness.
this because he's not.
Yeah, I mean, and the Ultra Balls, you know, okay, fine. I mean, that could also get you the supporter that you need after your attacker goes
Yeah,
down. But
because it's like you get ended 2, you draw the 3rd card. Okay.
Sure.
But him not being able to move that Necrozma is a huge deal. But I do agree with you. Kevin absolutely has to
well,
play
we'll
another
see,
end.
and it's interesting to know
Chris is just
'cause
gonna pass. I mean,
Kevin,
there's-
well, Chris might be out of energy.
Oh, and that would be a big deal too.
We'll
Because he
see.
does have 7 on that Mewtwo now, and the other thing is like, it's
Kevin have the end
for
here?
for Kevin's scenario. It's like you can't go for the Guzma play, which he
Oh,
has the
no,
Guzma. He does not have the end.
He doesn't even have the.
I don't see
energy
the
to attack.
energy. Yeah, he doesn't have the energy for
my.
the
No, he could
for the
attack with
Lunala.
the.
He
could
doesn't
attack-
have the energy for the
Yeah,
Lunala.
he has the Beast.
Lunala's not an Ultra Beast.
Oh, it's not an Ultra. Of
That's
course, it's
Dawn
not.
Wings,
I-
and
Of course, it's, I get mixed up because literally
It literally
every
looks
other
like
deck-
Dawn Wings, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
don't think
Absolutely.
Kevin wins here. I think if he
no, I'm
Guzmas the
pretty
Mewtwo,
sure.
He's just gonna power up the Necrozma.
He's going to power up the Necrozma by promoting the Malamar with the Float Stone.
Pass here.
He is going to Guzma.
I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't understand this. If you had the knockout with the Lunala, I could maybe see it, but that Necrozma is going to kill you.
Chris knows what he's doing. He's done. This is over.
This is literally game over. Yeah, and there's the concession.
I think. I mean, the only way Kevin would have done that is he stalled one more turn, but he's not.
Yeah, he didn't have the N, and I think that was one of those things. He really needed to find an N that turn.
Okay, so we're seeing a game 3, I believe.
Yes, we are.
This is great. Okay, Chris takes
it's been
it,
back and forth.
I'm really surprised. I mean, Kevin seems to have an advantage in terms of less clunkiness to the deck, but actually, the interesting thing is that we think that Kevin has more opportunity to play B strings and really just go for it and excel. But the thing is, guys, we haven't seen a B string.
Well, no, and the other thing I want to point out is that game he had 2 elixirs that failed and 2 B strings that he had to throw away in his first hand. So you have to look at the backside. It's like, well, it has all this potential to accelerate all of his energy. It can also clog up your hand. Just
You're right.
No differently than a bunch of evolutions can.
You're right. You're totally right. So, again, from Chris, we're going to try to see this slow, grindy poke strategy.
Absolutely.
Just get damage on the field and hope that Kevin doesn't draw what he needs exactly when he needs it. For Kevin, we're just going to see methodical play. We're just going to see trying to power up multiple things, really having a line of play that has game on board before Chris gets game on board.
Yeah, and I think getting game on board, when Chris goes down to 4 or 3 prizes, that instant, I've still been waiting to see this big explosion from Kevin where he just double B string, max elixir, or whatever, and just blows the whole thing open and basically says checkmate.
Right, exactly. And now one thing that I haven't seen from Kevin, and it makes me question whether he's taken it out, is the Oranguru, which might be able to help him.
He definitely took it out. We talked about it.
He did take it out. He did take it out. Okay, so
that is good to know.
Yeah, so Kevin has no real way to stream cards at the end of the game.
Right. I think the problem last game was Kevin needed to use Lunala Prison. He undervalued Lunala Prison that turn where he powered up an Ultra Necrozma that didn't need its energy.
Well, and he was powering up that Tapu Lele that I don't think really needed it either.
It was too many attackers that were all GXs.
Right. Yeah, they were all 2 prize.
He needed just one prize attacker to bait Chris into going into odd prizes. I mean.
Well, and the other thing that you look at here is that for Kevin, these 1 prize attackers are hitting Chris's Pokemon for weakness. Whether it's his 1 prizers or his 2 prizers, whereas for Chris, he's not hitting Kevin for weakness.
Russell says this matchup is childish. Russell, I agree with you. It's all about who's
absolutely
gonna. I mean,
agree.
it's a matter of we're arguing right now. Is Kevin gonna just draw into B strings when he needs B strings and hit them? I mean, yes, it's a little bit. It's a little bit theme decky.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And we see 2 max elixirs again, and he missed one again right off the bat. It managed to hit the second one.
But we do see a great Dawnwing start from
that is
Kevin.
fantastic. And then there goes a B string
String
right into the discard pile. And we see, this is not. All right. He actually saved himself there by drawing into a couple of those later cards. I saw those first 3 psychic energies in his hand, and that was looking really ugly.
Kevin's hand is bad.
Well, he has an N and a Tapu Lele. So
he has some Sycamore.
He has an N and a Tapu Lele, I believe, which at least gives him some outs.
I don't know if he has an N. I mean, you must have saw it better than me. I know he has a Lele and a Sycamore. There is that.
Yeah, because the first 3 cards he drew were all psychic energies, and that was looking really bad.
Okay, so we see a Cynthia here from Chris, and honestly, Chris's worst starter. It's really sad to see this.
Yeah.
It's really sad to see this.
Yep.
But starting an Inkay here, fine. Chris had to support her before putting an Inkay down. I'm really scared for his chances.
Yeah, that's really rough, and he's gonna have to find. It does look like he found one, and he also found him. It looks like he got 2 and a mysterious treasure. Yeah, he hit a very nice hand. He also has the.
We've actually seen
the
Chris
Dawn
do this
Wings in his
quite a few
hand.
times. Just draw into. I mean, he has not bridged it at all.
I mean, this is classic Chris.
Yeah, and the beauty of it here is this time, Kevin with his energy already on board, he on a 1 prize attacker now. He doesn't have the big 2 prize attacker set up. So, whereas we noticed that Chris had the Dawn Wings in his hand.
Now, if Kevin has the energy, does he just go in on Inkays? I mean, I assume so, right?
I'm curious to see if he's going to go in and try to knock it out, or which I assume is the play. Yeah. as opposed to trying to spread and take 2 KOs. But he would be relying on Chris not drawing into Malamars then. I absolutely agree with that play.
If I'm Chris, my heart sinks.
Yeah.
You know, because now you have to get a Tapu Lele off a Mysterious Treasure instead of a Malamar.
Yeah,
and you just got to go, but you're looking at a
dead
Hoopa
turn.
that's, you know, just
fully
gonna
powered up, ready to go. Yeah.
Well, and
smacking you around.
And if another, you know, depending on what Kevin got off the prizes and what he has left in his hand, like if another Guzma were to come down here, we do see, we see a Field Blower, we see the floating Dawn Wings, and there's the Sycamore.
I mean, at least the Lele's not going to trap that.
He really needs to hit another Inky off this, though. And again, he's got 2 Tapu Leles on his board.
For at least another turn. I mean,
yeah,
he's not going to do
and that double Lele, and I do not see an Inky.
Speak so fast.
Oh, are we talking about?
Oh, he's got a
there's only one Max
he's got a
Elixir.
Max Elixir. Okay. Yeah.
So we might see
we
could see a Max Elixir to the Lele.
And
Because
Lele could
Lele
go
is
in
not
for-
a Lele is not a horrible attacker.
No, and the fact that Hoopa's unable to one-shot it, I think.
Well, because he
makes
wants
a pretty big
Lele's
deal.
gone, right?
Yeah.
So
he wants that off his board.
He's gonna 2-shot. I think he actually goes for a Lele play. I mean I would. Maybe that's the wrong play.
No,
but,
I definitely agree
Lele,
with it.
you know, it's gonna 2-shot the Hoopa, which is not good. It's not good. But
Well,
he removes this play. It's gonna all be mute anyway because Chris basically removes this play by discarding the Psychic. If he hits the Max Elixir, he can still do it. But we'll see.
He could also
because he
just
he's
use the
trying to set up his
Malamar
Dawn Wings,
to. He could use the Malamar to accelerate an energy too.
I'm just worried about that.
I
worried
think
about
Chris
that
is
play.
looking linear on setting up this Dawn Wings. I think that's his gameplay right
and
now.
I don't
That's all
agree.
he wants to do.
I don't
That's all he's
agree
going
with
for right
that. I would have tried to go in on the Hoopa because you don't really care if Kevin takes 2 prizes off that Lele. First of all, you have a Lele off your board. Second of all, you can end him down to 3 cards.
That's true. That's true. Taking the Lele off the board is almost even bigger
Although,
to me because
yeah.
the most important resource in the game right now is bench space.
Bench space. I absolutely agree. And the other thing, now it's possible if I'm assuming Chris only runs 2 Tapu Leles. If he doesn't have access to an N right now, then putting himself in that scenario where if he were, relying on top decking an N, not having another Lele, I mean, maybe a rescue stretcher, but then he would be back to 2 Tapu Leles on his board again.
Okay, we are over 100 viewers, so that's pretty
Awesome.
Okay, so we see what happens. Play the Cynthia. Ooh, okay,
You get
he
the
has some
Floatstone
more
on the,
mobility,
yep.
getting the Floatstone down on his Dawn Wings and
Yep.
across my GX, so he'll be able to Invasion to go into the active and retreat.
Yeah, pretty
into
much
whatever
max
he
elixir
wants.
into whatever he wants
Yep.
or bring up whatever he wants
That's
into the active.
super good.
Looks like
So he's going to retreat. Looks like he's gonna for fun. He's going to go jump up,
just
jump
to
back.
make sure he doesn't forget about it.
Yep, and then
He's gonna
160. Now this is interesting too because the hyperspace punch can actually finish off this Tapu Lele now.
But I imagine Chris is going to be trying to finish up this Dawn Wings this turn.
I feel like you have to absolutely.
But this is my issue: is if Lele was going to take 160 damage no matter what, you might as well have put some damage on the Hoopa.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. You might as well have done the 100 damage. Put yourself in a scenario.
and it goes down whatever. I mean, now you have psychics in the discard. It's like not really a big deal.
Well,
This
and
Lele was going to get hit anyway.
Yeah, and he seems completely bent on this Dawn Wings, and
I just don't
I-
like
I-
it.
no,
'Cause
I-
at this
I-
point-
I
at this
100%
point,
agree with you.
If he had gone in with the Lele last turn, he could just knock this out, and it's not good.
well, the other thing he could have done if
But-
he had gone in with it last turn is he could have gone for his baby Hoopa and actually hyperspace punched, hit it for weakness to knock it out, and then spread 20 somewhere else.
That's right.
And left a 1-prizer in the active.
But the question is now, like, what does Kevin do? I mean,
Well, and it doesn't-
he needs to do a couple things. He needs to hit a max elixir, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he cannot
There's
really
no
attack
way
this
that
turn, right?
he can't B-string. So
I think he actually goes in with the Dawn Wings promo. I mean, it's not weak to psychic.
yeah.
It can't get knocked out by Dark Flash, and you can just poke.
Yeah, and
for now.
Moon's Eclipse is offline. So
That's true. That's true.
Wait, did he GX?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a frustrating play for Chris because there's no way for him to get rid of the damage on the Lele.
Yeah.
So now
Play
he's
here
stuck.
is absolutely.
Yeah, because he really-
put the energy on the Dawn Wings promo, go in the active, poke with it.
No, wait. Okay, so
Bait the knockout.
The only
so
way
can
he could
beast
heal
He
it
needs
is
to
by
bait the knockout
Tapu
to beast Ring.
Curing.
I know.
And I really don't think he wants
a
to
shame.
use Tapu Cure
Oh,
as
he
his
could
GX
even
attack.
Guzma. He's not going to go for that. But.
Well,
Oh, he could have Guzma the Lele and finished it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see. If I don't know what's in Chris's hand. He played a Bridget last turn, which leads me to believe that he doesn't have another supporter. Maybe he does, and he was, preemptively trying to get those NKs out because
Yeah.
it's been a little bit difficult for him.
Definitely.
But I mean, the later on we get in the game, the more threatening a GX attack from Ultra Necrozma becomes. I mean, right
Yeah.
now, if it was able to go online, because of course you have to have a combined prize total of 6.
Yeah, but it would be taking 4
It would be
prize
taking
cards.
4 prizes.
Yeah, it would be
That's
taking 4
nuts.
prize cards.
That's nuts. So we gotta hope that Chris is able to draw out of whatever funk he has and get those NKs
Yeah.
evolved, because that Lele is already 2 prizes from a lot of different snipe options that
Yeah,
Kevin has.
yeah. I think the big one outside of the GX deck has to be a retrieval of the Hoopa if he has
I
an
like
option
this.
for that.
I think Kevin might try to max.
Ooh, this is Max Lurcher to the Lunala and then try to bring back those 3 energies that were on the Dawn Wings.
Right.
I want to go to Mallory later.
I'm still about the play of going in with Dawn.
He has a
Wings
psychic
promo,
in his hand here too.
Well, he already.
Well, he already
Dawn
attached.
He'll look
Yeah.
for the metal, I think.
Come on, David, this way.
And we do see the psychic. We don't
Probably
see
to
the
the-
metal, so I'm thinking the Lunala Prism
I
has
think
to be the
I think
target
you put
here.
it on Ultra Necrozma, and you go because he has Beast in his hand, right?
Oh,
you go in with
all
Dawn
right.
Wings promo,
Oh,
you poke,
yeah.
and you've got Ultra Necrozma on the bench, ready to have a Beast energy attached to it.
Yeah. And that can
Chris
go in
has
and
no
finish
way.
something off.
I don't know, man. I think this is just stalling him a turn.
I mean, I understand what he's trying to basically set up a board where he has game no matter
But
what.
Kevin did that last game,
And it didn't work
and
out.
It took too long.
Yeah, he ended
Took
up taking
long,
too many
and Chris
turns.
set up his board because now Chris
Yeah.
has got 2 NKs.
Well,
He's
Kevin
gonna
tried to
evolve the Malamars.
Kevin tried to set up the wrong attackers.
That's true. That
That's
is
what
true.
he did. It was too late in the game for
Yeah.
him to set up the attackers that he did. So we'll see what he does here.
He's
I
got-
think attach the active. I don't know. What do you guys think?
that would be so dirty.
Okay, he does.
Okay, it looks like he's not.
I think 2 to the active would
Yeah,
be really dirty.
I
Two to the active would be
would never
so
put all
dirty.
3, but I think 2 maybe. But it looks like he's just going to commit to his bench Pokemon here.
Okay, so Kevin's board looking great. Chris's board looks horrible. I
mean-
gotta say it. Like, Chris here wants to be setting up another attacker.
Yeah,
but he
and-
has
and he
nothing.
doesn't have
He
one.
has nothing.
Well,
and
and-
he just discarded a Mewtwo and a
Oh my
Necrozma
lord.
GX.
Oh my
Which is maybe
goodness.
good by Kevin. Maybe Kevin did not want to give Chris this bench space to play in.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and that's another thing you have to account for is that when you're taking a knockout, you are indeed giving your opponent more bench space. If he can get Chris to take a knockout, maybe he can end him down to fewer cards and say you have less options now, and he can ask the questions
Right.
that
Kevin,
way.
Kevin wants a knockout here. He wants one of his attackers to die so he can
get B-string, yeah.
end him.
and him down. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
It's saying a lot. We're saying Chris's board is fine. He's got a lot of Malamar out, but his second best attacker is a Tapu Lele.
Yeah, and that other
And
that
when
other
happens,
Tapu Lele is.
when that happens, you're just, what are you doing?
Well, especially when you're going in against Ultra Necrozma in particular, because that's going to discard all but one of its energies when it hits.
Sure,
So it's not going to take a whole bunch of damage from Tapu Lele.
sure, exactly.
I mean, Chris would have to do with a Lele what he did with the Mewtwo last game. He'd have to stack 6, 7 energies on there.
Yeah. So one way for Chris to get out of this jam with the Lele is to use his own Lele and use Tapu Cure.
Yep.
I don't really see that
I don't
happening.
think it's
No.
It seems like a very
No.
bad play.
he
Bad
needs
use
a
of
GX
the
attack
GX.
to take up 2 prizes.
Well, and the other thing that happens if he Tapu Cures the Lele that would then sit in the active, chances are it just takes another big hit.
Right.
You're
So
totally
it,
right.
it just
Chris
mitigates
has to
that.
factor a GX attack taking 2 prizes in this matchup. That's the only way, because it's the only attacks that does more than 180 damage consistently. So
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, unless he can get the Prismatic Burst off, but the problem with doing the Prismatic Burst is that then he's going to be in a scenario where he's wide open with a 2-prize attacker up front that can get 1 shot.
all right. So does Kevin go in with the Ultra Necrozma? I imagine
I'm
he does.
a little skeptical that he placed the Floatstone on the Dawn Wings, although I guess he can. Well, no, never mind. He has
He
the
has one on the
Floatstone on the
Dawn
Dawn
Wings
Wings GX. Yeah, he's fine.
I don't know. I think for Kevin, if you're here, look at Lunala's second attack. If he would have attached the energies to the active, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
yeah.
11, 12.
It's
You're
so
one-shotting.
busted,
You're
yeah.
one-shotting. So I almost feel like
Kevin is
here.
undervaluing this Lunala Prism, hands down. Yes.
Sure. Although he is saving it for future use.
Yeah, and can
he
only
did
hope
undervalue.
that does
I
happen
agree.
because
I
it is not a B-string target.
Well, he's never going to be able to Lunala Prism in the active to itself again. Because, it's got.
Yeah,
it's got
it has
120 damage
too
on
much
it.
damage. It would become a target at that point.
So in this case here, I think.
I think for the second game in a row, he kind of missed his opportunity to charge that thing up.
Chris is in a bad spot here because he needs Necrozma GX to blow up the Ultra Necrozma. But then
Dawn Wings is just going to come in and blow it up.
So he might need to drop a Necrozma, Guzma the Dawn Wings Necrozma, and take that out.
And exactly.
But that's asking a lot from him, you know?
It is, because, you look at and then if he does that, he opens up B-String, so Kevin can just B-String onto the Ultra Necrozma and lay down another big attack.
Right.
So that's the problem here.
So Chris plays a Field Blower here to get rid of some float stones
Which is
on
good.
Kevin's
That's good.
side of the
Very
board.
good. Yeah,
Removes a
very
lot of
good.
mobility from Kevin.
Absolutely. And
I
Kevin,
think Chris does maybe go for the Dawn Wings GX attack. I mean, it's not going to take the knockout on this Ultra Necrozma.
I mean, I want to see a rescue stretcher from the Mewtwo.
that's what I'd like to see here as well.
Yeah, that could do it too. Yeah, so he just Sycamores, and thanks for that rescue stretcher. That seems
Even
like the
then,
way to go.
even then, I think you have to wait a turn to do the attack, because if you use the Mewtwo and go right into that Ultra Necrozma, you're at a position there where that Dawn Wings again is just going to come up and knock you out.
JW, what do you think about powering up this Lele?
Dude, I'm clenching.
Yeah, I
Makes me
have,
feel weird.
I have
It makes
my
me feel
doubts
so
about it
bad.
myself.
I mean, we see Tapu Lele in just about every single deck. Rarely attacks. And I like so many resources are going to
Okay,
it.
I think there's a stretcher in his hand.
Although,
So a Mewtwo
He's
GX
Sycamored
could
again
come down here.
He has, looks like, he
That
has
would be very good.
I would still probably wait until
JW,
next
imagine
turn.
this
Yeah.
situation, right? He
I'm-
puts
I'm
Mewtwo GX
imagining.
down. He GXs the Ultra Necrozma for the knockout.
right.
And then he just loads up energies and takes out the Dawn Wings. and the
That's
Dawn Wings
what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I
Yeah.
mean, that's I think his play right now.
And he would be able to end Kevin down to one
it's
simultaneously,
not
which would be a huge
bad.
deal.
Yeah.
It looks like
Okay.
he's going for the Necrozma. I wonder if he's going to shuffle stuff back. It looks like he's not, so we're
Bro,
going to see
I
the
think he should have
Necrozma
rescue
here.
stretchered for the Mewtwo. This seems like the mistake.
Although the Necrozma can, with 3 energy, the
He
Necrozma
saves his
will
GX
knock
attack.
this thing out. Yeah, he'll conserve his GX attack here. But now you have to wonder, is B-String about to become a thing?
Well, I think what Chris has is probably an N in his hand. And
Oh,
he's gonna
I would
say-
have
he's gonna
to
say,
assume,
okay,
yeah.
Kevin. He's gonna say, okay, Kevin. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you this prize. Okay, you're gonna take it out with the Dawn Wings, and then next time I'm gonna end you to 1. If you don't have it, you lose.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and then
absolutely
I'm just
agree.
gonna go in with this Lele,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna go in with the Mewtwo. I'm just gonna attack, and I'm gonna win. So
Yeah.
I think Chris does this knowingly, and he says, hey, I have the N.
This is probably my best
This is
Right.
round of
another
victory.
Best
huge
chance.
case where if this Lunala Prism had energy on it,
Absolutely.
he could be using this instead of his Dawn Wings GX to blow up the Necrozma.
I
GX.
absolutely agree.
I honestly think it's such a shame, like
Yeah, I really do believe that for 2 games in a row, he's missed his opportunity to make that happen.
So we'll see how many B-string can Kevin play.
Yeah.
Chris has finally gotten into range.
He also needs, Kevin also needs to find an Ultra Necrozma, which it
Right,
looks like
right.
he's about to do here.
Although another interesting thing we could see from Kevin is the snipe attack. He can finally use the GX attack on the Ultra Necrozma.
Yes,
So,
they are at
that
they
might be
are at
pretty
only 6
nice.
prizes. There is the
He'll-
B-String.
He'd get 2 prizes and soften up everything else. And
He can also
actually-
try to trap that Necrozma in the active spot.
Exactly.
here.
That's what
Oh,
I'm thinking
boy.
too. I think he does go for the GX attack with the Ultra Necrozma.
Now
He'll take out the Lele,
He's going to want to
and then
find
he'll
another.
snipe 60
Yeah.
on everything
How's
else.
he
He'll
gonna
be
get
down
out
to
of
1.
Yeah,
action?
he needs to. He's going to want to find another floatstone here
I don't know, GW. I don't think
because
he gets a
he's
floatstone.
going to have. Otherwise, he's going to be discarding
I
2
see the
energy
floatstone. I see the
here.
floatstone in his hand. Oh,
Oh
my
no!
goodness. Oh my goodness.
I don't
Oh,
understand.
No.
Yeah, because he's saving the energy if he GXs. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. He's
Oh, my
conserving the
goodness.
energy,
he's taking
leaving
2
himself.
prizes for sure. And he's
I don't
Yeah,
understand
and he's
this
saving
play.
the energy to a point where he attacks anything, and instead
I mean,
we
he's
see it
gonna
on
he's gonna invasion with the Dawn Wings, and it
Yeah.
might buff out for Kevin. I mean, it might be fine.
I mean,
you
yeah,
know?
the best case scenario, he goes in, he knocks out the Necrozma, the Lele comes in, and then he just attaches 1 psychic, blows it up.
Yeah,
it's
and the other thing he
We
might
get
be
to go home,
trying
you
to
know?
use if he were to find a choice band here, he could go in with the invasion and actually use the Dark Flash for 180, since he did put the
And then save his GX attack for
the
the
save
Lele.
his GX attack for the top of Lele
right,
to end
right,
the game.
I agree.
And there's the
Can he do a Dark
B-String.
Flash? He's not behind on prizes.
No, he could do a Dark Flash.
Dark
That's just
Flash,
120.
right, Dark Flash, yeah.
Sorry,
Because
sorry.
with the B-String and a choice band, it would go up to 180.
Of course.
And instead, we see a B-String onto the Ultra Necrozma, and if he's forced to go in and launch this attack here,
Okay, so
he needs to get this.
So
he
my
needs to
question
move this
is,
Luna
what if he
Law.
builds his Ultra Necrozma too much to the point that he actually Tapu Lele's?
Okay, and
I mean,
okay,
Chris
so instead
could
he
go
just
after the
went
Ultra
in.
Necrozma here.
Good, but he can't end.
I
Guzma.
think no, and that's the problem. Is that Ultra Necrozma is going to lay down the game-winning attack? I think no matter what.
I think Chris has to take it out. I
Chris.
think Chris has to
Well,
take
well,
out
if he
Ultra Necrozma.
doesn't, then he gets GX for game.
Right.
Yeah, and you have to look at like
And
it
if he
has, you have
does,
to take it. I
he has to hope
think
that Kevin has no
I
Guzma.
think if I think Chris needs to play
Or a
I think-
choice band.
Yeah, because being unable to play an N here is so huge. Knowing you have to play a Guzma, you have to knock out this this Ultra Necrozma here.
I mean, I'm thinking 100%. Chris is going after this Ultra Cross.
He has to.
There's no other
He
play here.
doesn't have an option.
And that's real sad because Kevin has like 4 cards in his hand. I mean, Kevin's
he-
deck is pretty
he's
thin.
gotta-
I'm
he's gotta have
thinking Kevin
something.
is really, really in the driver's seat right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And again, it's the Lele coming back to her.
Well, and I
Chris.
think it has to be the Tapu Lele because everything else is going to be weak to Psychic, and it's just going to get one shot.
Have you ever seen these
There's
many
the
energy
Guzma. Oh my goodness.
on a Tapu Lele? It
Wow.
comes up.
And last game we had a
This
Mewtwo
is-
with 6 energy.
This is the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
Lele I've
That
ever
is
seen.
8 energies on a Tapu Lele. That is insane.
I
And
know.
here's a
Oh,
Lele
okay,
for the
it's over. It's
Guzma.
over.
Yep,
Okay.
and that is the game.
Great job by
Oh
Kevin
my
here.
God.
Wow.
What a nail biter.
Incredible.
Someone tell Kevin to value his 1 prizes.
Yeah, that he really that Lunala Prism in particular.
I think it's an amazing card.
Yeah.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, well, we saw a great fight by Chris. He was on the back foot from the whole game there.
Amphi says thick Lele. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it was
Lele.
a
And
massive
we had a
Lele.
thick Mewtwo last game. So
Yeah, we had a 7 energy Mewtwo the game before. Yeah,
Yeah.
really insane.
Psychic Boys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Psychic
absolutely.
Boys really coming through. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
I gotta commend Chris. I mean, those were the swollest Psychic Boys
yeah.
that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
Well-
I'll take that away from this game.
Yeah.
Things that you remember. I think Chris can say, hey, I lost,
But I put 8
but I
energy
put
on Mewtwo.
eight
Yeah,
energy
exactly.
on
I put
Mewtwo.
eight
And
energy down
on a Lele. Like, I
and
just
just
blew
went-
things
and,
up.
and
you
went
know?
boom.
Yeah, and so if you're Chris, you're feeling, you're feeling sad, but congratulations to him. Congratulations to Kevin. This is a new
Absolutely.
deck. We're seeing
Yeah, this
something,
is something
really
we've
unique.
never seen before.
Something
It's
we've
a
never
huge
seen.
bummer for Chris, though, because he is 4 points shy of his World's Invite. So
That's true.
we're deeply sympathetic with Chris.
Well, Kevin just got his
Kevin
invite.
did just get his World's Invite, so congrats
That
to
is
Kevin
awesome.
Baxter.
Yeah, massive congrats to Kevin Baxter on his World's Invite, and for Chris.
Pray for Chris at Nats.
Yeah,
Nats
well,
nothing.
he's still got a couple of chances, I think, at Cups.
He needs to get a first place. So
Yeah, he does need to get a first place.
no better chance of being in top 8.
You're so right, but I
Absolutely.
think he hit one of his worst matchups. I would
Yeah,
say.
I think that was a very
Attack
rough
Lele,
matchup.
new meta. I mean,
Attack Lele.
didn't really pay off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little tough to really do something like that too, because it's just like old school Mewtwo wars, only they're not weak to each other.
Yeah, sure.
You
Absolutely.
supercharge a Lele like that, your opponent goes Lele double colorless. Oops.
Yeah. So what do you see as, and we'll try to ask Kevin this question. What do you see as the future of this big basics B string
Okay, so I mean,
psychic
so
deck?
we've got this triangle going on right now, right? We've
Yeah.
got like Buzzwole, Malamar, we've got Zorak. This big basic deck can beat all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely
like
agree.
Well,
Kevin-
we certainly saw it handle, Malamar.
Malamar.
It wasn't.
It wasn't beautiful.
It wasn't
No,
good.
it definitely wasn't.
Kevin
but
will
it was
testify
done.
that His Buzzwole matchup's really good.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
he's got 4 alternate cross for the Zorak matchup. I mean, obviously,
and-
obviously like the Dawn Wings GX is like pretty bad in that matchup, but like
Yeah, but the Ultra Necrozma.
4 alternate cross.
Well,
I
and
mean,
Ultra-
you've got Choice Band, Beast Train.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's pretty good.
Well, I would definitely agree with that, and I think as a Malamar player myself, that I've played both the regular version and the Ultra version. I noticed that with the regular version, you lose most of the time to Zoroark.
Sure.
But with Ultra Necrozma, that provides the difference maker that you need.
Right.
You get that one shot for 3 energies in a Choice Band, and in Kevin's deck, I would only assume that becomes even stronger. Because he's not relying on setting up a certain bench that can be crippled out by a Parallel City or something, or a Lycanroc pulling the wrong thing up.
Good point. Yeah, you don't have to worry about setup as
We're
much.
gonna do
Yeah.
we're gonna do Andrew and Riley for top 4.
And okay, so we just got confirmation that we're going to do Andrew and Riley. This is a matchup that we've already seen this earlier in the day.
Earlier today.
But first, before we do that, we have our winner from top 8, Kevin
Baxter.
He's going to come on
Alright.
stream.
I will.
Yeah, somebody's laughed.
Something like that. Yeah,
So
that works.
Kevin,
We're in the frame.
So,
hey Kevin, congratulations on your
yes,
win.
congratulations
Thank you, sir.
on your World's Invite, by the
yes.
way.
Did get that today, thank you.
Yeah, so we saw your big basics deck beat Malamar, but I wouldn't say, you'd think it would have beat it more convincingly. And I wonder what you thought, because there were a few times, especially in that second game, where you didn't really hit your B strings when you could have kind of taken over. And I'm wondering if you feel like this is a matchup you absolutely want to see 100%, because it looked a little bit close from where we were.
This deck is like pretty much even with everything, but I have the advantage of them not knowing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna guess you're gonna blow up things with the
Well,
Ultra
right.
Necrozma.
Right, but they see like the psychic stuff and they're like, oh, where's your Malamars?
Yeah,
A lot of my
that
rounds
makes
today
sense.
was like, oh, you must be dead drawing because you didn't get your stuff out.
Sure.
But-
Sure.
Well, that just means you tell them you prized all 4 Inkies.
exactly. Yeah.
So you say that it's even against everything.
it's even or maybe slightly. Well, it's okay. It's not even versus Buzzwole.
Sure. Okay.
It beats Buzzwole.
Yeah, pretty. And would you say it beats Buzzwole harder than a regular Malamar deck?
I think so, just because you don't have like the chance of not doing anything for like 5 turns.
Right, because you just like
Absolutely.
those energy. You like to
Yeah.
attach energy. It's kind of like the psychic answer to Buzzwole.
It's the psychic version of Buzzwole.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is the psychic version. Yeah, as I was just thinking.
Exactly. So
We were actually talking. It reminded us a little bit of the Dawnwings, or not Dawnwings, the Duskmane Necrozma deck that ran the Registeals, the Max Elixirs,
Right.
all that stuff. Only now with B-String in the format,
Yeah.
and the fact that Ultra Necrozma can do so much more damage. You have so many more options. Like, I mean, is there anything? Is there any matchup? Like, I know you said they're mostly 50-50. Is there any matchup that concerns you going forward?
The weird stuff like Greninja.
Okay. Yeah.
But like against the meta, it's like pretty even or favorable. So I wouldn't be afraid of like a real deck. Like,
Yeah.
it matches up pretty well against all the real decks.
okay, so you haven't tested this deck.
Yeah. Okay.
Kevin, you haven't tested this too much, right? You came up with
I
this
built it
idea
last night.
That is
night. Okay,
amazing.
great.
I've
So-
I've been
love
thinking
it.
about it though for
well,
like
of
a couple
course,
weeks.
of course,
sure,
and,
for
and-
sure.
and it makes sense. I mean, all these cards work really well together, as we just saw. But how do you see this evolving as you look to prepare for Nats and maybe even Worlds? I mean, maybe we'll see this deck at Worlds.
Yeah, maybe it's not going to change too much. I don't think. Just
I don't
'cause
think there's a lot of room.
There's just like a couple of spaces you can mess with, like the healing you can mess with a little bit, and you can mess with the supporter some.
Sure.
But the idea and most of the engine is just going to stay the same because if you don't do that, it's not consistent.
right.
I definitely can see that. Yeah, you definitely want to have your core, having all those B strings. Like, I kept waiting, and I think, obviously it's not going to happen every game. Just seeing that turn where your opponent goes down to 4 prizes or 3 prizes, and you just lay down all those B strings and just basically set up checkmate on board.
Yeah, no, I had a game in Swiss where I did 3 B strings in a turn.
Oh my god.
It's pretty good.
Oh my goodness.
Would you consider something like Order Pad to increase your chances of hitting B string? Because I feel like that second game, you would have had it if you hit 1, maybe 2 B string.
The second game, I'm fine with having lost that.
Okay.
Like, there were a couple awkward ends that I hit,
Yeah.
and then he went first. Like, going
Sure.
first is huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's great. So anything else you would consider? No, I had one question for you actually, and this is pretty relevant. Your Lunala Star.
Oh, yes.
Best card in the deck.
Yes.
It literally would not be a deck without that
No,
card.
we do
Should've
have
attacked
some.
with it.
Yeah, we were
Well, I know,
wondering.
so I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so explain to me what your thought process is with attacking. First attack, second attack. When you go in with one, when you're looking to put pressure on. Because we thought a few times in those games that would have been like an insane attacker.
Yes, I could have closed out the game when I did the first full moon to like the Ultra and the Dawnwings.
That's what we were thinking, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought about doing
we
it
were looking
all
at
on the
that.
guy,
Yeah.
but if he goes down, then like I don't reload. Like if
Yeah.
I kill something with that and he gets
Right.
back his Necrozma GX,
Right.
and I lose it,
Exactly.
then I can't come back. Like it's basically the safety valve.
Okay.
You want to throw your GXs at him and then reload with the Lunala because it's pretty hard to kill the Lunala if you just killed something big.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and then, it's 160 hit points, and they're only getting 1 prize off it, so that puts them on an odd prize count.
Right.
So great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Congrats on your win, and good luck in top 4.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Ooh, playing Buzzwole.